Hey everybody, Lou Santiago, and this is something different what we're going to do tonight. We're going to call this new show Three Lefts Don't Make a Right. Now, here's the deal with Three Lefts Don't Make a Right. I'm hosting it. My friend John is back there. He's going to come in 1 second. He's going to be like my Ed McMahon for you guys who remember The Tonight Show. You know, a classic as it was. But here's the thing. We're not going to do politics unless somebody wants to talk politics. We're not going to beat everybody up. We're not going to sit there and call people racist. We're not going to carry on like fools. We want to hear your point of view. We want people to chime in and say, hey, this is screwed up. And then we need to talk about it because we may not agree with what you're saying. And there's nothing wrong with having differing opinions. So therefore, we need you guys. There's a chat room that you can go on, and we're going to hopefully have a phone number that you can call in the next couple of weeks. And we want to talk to the people out there. And quite honestly, we can talk when it comes down to the third segment, which will be the cage match. That's when we want to talk to you guys. Up until then, we can talk about cars. We can talk about what's going on in the world. You know, let's keep it civil. So that's the way I see it. Segment 1 is my intro. Talk to John a little bit, find out what's going on in the world. And then segment 2, we talk about stuff, you know, further outside of our world, you know, like say SEMA or PRI. We do all of that. And then segment 3 is what we're calling the cage match. If you want to call in and you don't like the Orange Man, that's fine. But we're not just going to let you sit here and go crazy bashing the Orange Man when we may not agree with you. We're going to question you on it. We want to know your reasoning. We want to know your logic. Because at the end of the day, everybody's opinion matters. Just like everybody's life matters. So, John, where are you at? Come on, John. Get in here.
Yo, I'm here. I'm here.
All right.
What's
happening, man?
Not much. How you been?
I'm good. So you ready to do this?
Yeah. What are you working on? What do you got? Give me the list. Give me the rundown. What do you got?
This week was pretty slow. Lee had a bunch of pictures that he had to take of some parts. So I basically got some stuff together for next week. So it was a slow week for us. We didn't do nothing crazy. I do have tomorrow, the parts should be here for the slow bourbon, the bell housing, the flywheel, the clutch, the pressure plate, all that. I got the ARP flywheel bolts from Summit yesterday, or no, it was Tuesday. I got them Tuesday. So those are here. And yeah, Modern Driveline's hooking me up with all the stuff to make the Tremec TKO work. And you know, next week we're either going to jam that in or we're going to turn around and do the bracing on the Chevelle frame, which we've been saying we're going to do forever, but it just, I'm going to do a stand-up next week on what happened, on what's happening with that, because it's just bananas. It's just everything that's weird is happening with that frame. So that's where I'm at. What do you got going on?
Did you box it? You boxed that frame in, right?
I got everything tacked. Everything's tacked and in place. The mock-up engine and mock-up transmission are in place. But let me tell you what happened. We got the headers from Cooks, right? And I've come across this before, but I've only come across it in cars that guys have messed with, and I know it exists. Chevys have, you know, had the clamshell mount. We have the rubber isolator, and then the clamshell mount goes over the top of it. That's like in your 80 Impalas and stuff like that, and your Chevy trucks. Well, you know, the regular 2 tabs, the bolt goes through the tabs mount. They actually make a short one and a tall one. And it's only like 5/8 of an inch difference or something like that. It's not much. But I did not know this. The 69 Chevelle came with the tall mounts. See, the car didn't have an engine in it, so I just got the mount that I usually get, the short one. Right. So when we went to put the headers on, they didn't fit. And it's not because it's the headers issue, it's the mount. So I got mounts coming, and we'll just go from there. I actually picked up some mock-up mounts today from the local parts store while I'm waiting for the Prothane ones to come in. Once I get the ones from Prothane, I'll swap them out. But then we can do the exhaust and do the bracing in the frame and all that. So that's where I'm at.
What's the backstory on that 48 Ford you had that somebody was looking to buy?
Well, that one, man, that one is it's just, it was one of those things, man. You know, one of the guys there was looking to buy it, and it just wasn't worth it. The car was a piece of garbage. I mean, it can be saved, but man, how much do you want to put in it? And yeah, you know, we didn't even talk about the body. It was really bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, the whole thing would have to come back apart and redone.
Totally. What's the difference?
What were they asking for that car?
I'm sorry.
How much? What were they asking for it?
He wanted $6,500 for it.
Oh, okay.
Way too
Oh,
much.
no.
It's a $1,500 car. I mean, they didn't rebuild the engine or anything. It was garbage. The car's totally garbage.
Tacked up.
So Daniel wants to know the difference between 68 Camaro Z28 or an Oak. I'm not sure what he means by Oak, but Camaro ZR1. The ZR1 is the new one. The ZL, is it the ZL1? Let me get this right here. ZR1, I believe, was the old one, the 69, which came with the all aluminum big block. And they only made a limited number. I think they made like 200 or 300 of those. The 68 Z28 is equally as rare because the 68 Z28, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a Camaro guy, was the first year that the Z28 moniker came out, and it was a half-year deal. And then they went to 69, if I'm not mistaken.
They just had the ZR1 go across the block at Meekum.
Oh, did they?
175. It was up there. Nice.
Really?
I mean, it was nice. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
big money.
The thing that makes them worth it is the engine. It's
Yeah.
an all aluminum 427 big block. I mean, come on, they're rare as hen's teeth. So that's what you turn up getting. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm a fan of that. And Barrett Jackson's next month.
Yeah, I was registered to go last month,
Right.
but they pushed it off because of COVID till March, which it's probably not going to affect it too much. People will roll with it. Are you going?
I don't know. I'd like to go. If I can get someone to help me out, I'd go because I'm not independently wealthy.
You'd have to drive. It's only like a million miles. I mean,
it's an easy run though. I can put the car in autopilot.
You know who's going to be there? I mean, we were hitting him up. Is Mike from Wicked Flow?
Yeah.
We should
Have you talked to him lately?
No, but we should probably go out.
We should beat him up.
We should have him on the show prior to.
We need to beat up Ray.
Yeah, we need to do that too.
I
talked to him yesterday.
And?
He moved into a new house. He's 70. I think he's going to be 76 this year.
Yeah.
He's busy putting his house together. And I'm thinking, most people downsize. He jumped up like 1,000 square feet.
Damn.
Bigger house, bigger yard, bigger everything. He's going to build another garage. There's no stopping him. I get tired listening to him.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's out of his mind. So Jeremy Reed said they hope they can have another doo-wop rod run show in Charleston, West Virginia. Great show, by the way. It's right on the river, and the city shuts down the street. Everybody parks all along the river. They bring in a couple of bands. It's in Charleston, West Virginia.
What month? What month? Huh? June? When is it? Do you remember?
Jeremy, if you hear me, type in when it is. I don't remember when it is. I think it was March, I want to say, but don't quote me on it because it wasn't ridiculously hot. But it was a good show. I've been to it twice. It's a very good show, and they have a good turnout. Yeah, the city of Charleston actually, they actually said okay to it because they were trying to boost tourism in Charleston because it's cold country, man. Cold country's hit pretty hard. October, he said. So. Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show. I did last year I did the first year I went would be 3 years ago. I actually did a seminar on narrowing a 9-inch Ford. Brought my stuff up and cut it all up.
Right there. At the show.
Yeah, at the show. Yeah. And wait, SEMA. We gotta talk about SEMA. Kevin wants to know about SEMA. Are they did they say if they're having SEMA?
Well, they haven't said they're not so far.
Okay, so we going to SEMA?
I'm only doing SEMA. We still got to nail down Barrett Jackson.
Hey, I'm just asking.
Why don't we get a hold of those guys and go, listen, we need box tickets. Show us the big time.
Oh, my God.
A lot of people don't know that when you buy that VIP nonsense they sell you, which is thousands and thousands of dollars, they give you like 25, 30 drinks comp every day. Those guys are lit. Yeah, when they're raising their hand at $1.2 million, they don't remember doing. The next day they're trash. They don't remember what they're doing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean it's each person. You get a guest, so they get 25. Something nutty like that. Mike was telling me that.
That's crazy.
He says he can't drink all the alcohol that they give him.
Yeah, but did he try?
Yeah, he was pretty lit when he was on stage. He bought a Nomad And I said to him, what it looked like, what color was it? He says, I don't remember. He didn't even know what he bought. He says, I actually have to go find it. It seemed like it was pretty nice.
Oh my God.
And I'm sitting there going, seriously? You know? I says, was it burgundy? Because there was one in line that I saw. He goes, it may have been. I think so.
Oh God.
But he was, you know, he only buys nice stuff, but he was lit.
Hey, before the Wu-Tang hit,
Yeah.
you know I was on the short list for a show.
Yeah, I know.
Called Some Assembly Required. I just saw the press release on it, but Tim Allen is hosting it, and they brought back the whole cast of oh God, what was the name of that show that they did?
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. It's got the girl and the guy. Yeah, so that's coming to history. Some Assembly Required. I think they're in production now. I don't know. It just they did the press release saying it's coming soon.
Yeah, I think they shot throughout the summer. I think it's about to air, the first one this month.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll work. So
yeah.
I gotta ask because I gotta know. What's your thoughts about reruns of Top Gear on Motor Trend? I just gotta ask. If you don't like it, that's fine.
I don't. There's only certain shows that I do like. It's not a one size fits all, that network.
Right.
Top Gear is not me. Roadkill's not me. I watch it when they're trying to stick, you know, a leaf blower down the carburetor and give it some boost. I just go, I can't watch it.
Yeah.
Some people can, and I think people are interested. Is it going to make it? You know, they're going to get that thing to go from A to B. The shows that I like most is Iron Resurrection on Motor Trend.
Yeah.
Pitch and Rides has always been up there. I don't know what the status is of Richard Rawlings' show. I haven't seen anything new.
Yeah. I don't think he's gone. I think. I know he's got stuff on YouTube now, but I
saw that, and he's not boosting. He's not hashtagging Discovery or anything.
Yeah, he's mad with them. I mean, the show ran its course. It happens. It happens.
What's going on with Darnell? Steve Darnell's Vegas Rat Rod. You talk to him?
He's all online now. He's doing YouTube stuff. He's doing like an online welding seminars. He's got a few things going like that. He's totally online, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen anything from him on TV. As far as I know, he's got nothing in the works TV wise. And you know, me and Steve met. It was right after Muscle Car, so that'd probably be like 05, and we talked about how the network is and all that, because at that time he had a couple offices pre-Vegas Rat Rod. And I told him, I said, man, these are the things you got to look out for. You got to look out for these things because they're going to try and take these things from you. They want to control it all. And probably 6-8 months later, he calls, like, man, you were right. He goes, man, I'm so glad I talked to you. And you know, because look, I had to learn the hard way, you know. And Kevin said that his welding seminars are really good. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, and you know this, most of those shows, there's a deadline, hurry up. It's fabricated deadlines, but they do have a production deadline. It needs to be done this amount of time. We're going to shoot these amount of days, blah, blah, blah. Most times, and you know, that car doesn't look the same in person as it does on TV. Most times with the Tuttles, those bikes didn't even start.
Right.
They would push them out there. And, I mean, they didn't even have the things ready, wouldn't crank over.
Yeah.
But with Steve's Vegas Rat Rods, it seemed he had one sitting out front right on the main drag. And he's one of the few people, when you see his stuff in person, it looks 1,000 times better than what they show you on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, the detail of things that he does, you're like, I mean, you could stare at the thing for like 3 hours, still finding different things that he's tucked away in those cars.
That's because, and I've said this before, and it is not an insult. Steve is an artist who builds cars. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why, like, thing that always stuck out in my mind about his Dodge sedan is the guy, you know, he had whoever do his interior. They took cowboy boots and cut the top of the cowboy boot, cut it in half, and opened it up. And that's the door panels. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like his shifter, and I don't know what it is, but like when you put a horse on a cart, there's this big silver thing. It's like a horseshoe shape, and it's got these knobs on it, and that's where they tie up the horse so they can control him in a wagon. He cut one of those in half, and that's his shifter. You know, saw blades for gussets. The guy is an artist
Oh,
building cars.
you can see it when you look at that stuff in person. It
Yeah,
knocks your socks off.
yeah,
There's
because
so
he's not
much
building a
time.
car like the average guy.
Yeah,
He's not doing
he's got thousands of hours in those things. I mean, it's
Oh
just
yeah,
incredible. I
and
mean,
and
it's
they, and
unbelievable.
they're all over the top, and they're all cool. Because like you said, you can look at it for hours and just see different things every time. It's amazing. The guy's an artist, man. He's good at what he does. I'll say that. And you know, it's just one of those things. He loves what he does. He loves what he does, and that's what makes the difference for him. You know what I mean? I really think that makes a difference. So that's where we are with that. Now, I want to tell you guys, we're going to step into the next piece of this, you know, of our world that we're getting into. And I even have my little cheat sheet. So we're going to do a quick break. The Monday morning. Oh, you know, before I forget, the Monday Morning Racer beat Discovery twice on copy strikes. I'll get into that when we come back. So hit a commercial. We'll be right back, and we'll talk about that.
Power-Built Tools exemplifies innovation in the tool industry. From hand tools, power tools, and even tool storage. Check out powerbuilt.com for Power-Built Tools. And remember, use promo code MMR15 for 15% off at purchase.
All right, everybody, we're back to Three Lefts Don't Make a Right. I'm Lou Santiago. That's John sitting there next to me. So we've been talking the first 15 minutes about what's going on with us. Now we're going to talk about what's going on in the world. We touched on some of it briefly. And one of the things that I know for guys, car guys, it's important is SEMA and PRI. All right, not just Barrett Jackson or Mecum, but SEMA and PRI. That's big in our world because, you know, guys want to build cars to go to SEMA because it can help launch a career, which I understand. And they also have, you know, the Battle of the Builders, which now is on History Channel. Did you know that, John? That is on History Channel. So
Barrett Jackson's going to history too. It's no longer on Motor Trend.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Most everything is going. It seems like it's going over to history. History is spending the money and making it happen. They're car guys now.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I think the count is done. I think that his show is over.
He's been off the air for a couple of years, I think.
Has he?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's been gone a little bit.
He's got something new where he talks about different cars and, you know, extreme limos. And I mean, it's not horrible. It's a cheap production.
Yeah.
You know, not spending a lot of money on it. It is somewhat interesting.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think the place to go is the internet. So Joe Harville wants to know if he needs me to do a tow bill, a tow pig. Joe, let me tell you something. I've got the tow pig. Myself and Monday Morning Racer have got some stuff going on where we might be transitioning to some other things and moving around. So right now I'm doing the projects I have, but I have a 66 2-ton Chevy truck that I want to make a tow pig. It was an old North Carolina DOT truck. And what I'd like to do is get me a 6BT Cummins and jam a 10-speed behind it because, you know, I won't ever hurt it, and then make that my tow pig. I think that'd be happening.
Right.
Maybe even make it a crew cab. Call in the skinny guy to do that. That'd be badass.
Yeah.
So that's where we are, you know. Hey, so real quick, I know we've talked about a few things about trying to get people on, and I know you've talked to Courtney Hanson, and what we need to do, which I think would be great, if we can get the people watching to actually give us suggestions for people coming on the show, and maybe we can find them and reach out to them and get some of the people that they want to see. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure if I do some research, I can get a hold of Chip Foose. I just got to talk to him, you know. I just got to track him down, I should say, because I don't have his number. And, you know, Courtney, maybe Shag, and I'd like to see Shorty. Shorty, I think would be good, you know, from a painter's aspect of things, because, you know, I'm not a painter, you're not a painter. I think it'd be cool to get, you know, a couple of painters on here because no one really talks to painters.
Yeah, he left the show. I think they're trying to get him back onto Iron Resurrection. But I'd like to know what he's up to. We talked to him 2 months ago, you and I.
Yeah, 2 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, things
The
were
conference call and we beat him up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was moving and grooving. But yeah, he's got a lot going on.
But I mean, realistically, when you think about it, the painter has the most impact on a car. You know what I mean? That's what everybody sees first. You know, Ron wants to see Heather Storm. I'll write that down. Well, I think that's what's going to make this really happen. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be really good. Oh, and Rhino, you know, I met him years ago. Super cool guy, man. Rhino was cool. I met him. I think I met him at SEMA. He was a cool dude.
You know who's got some stories we should get him on? And he pops up on one of the History Channel commercials, like when they're doing their drive segments in the morning on the weekends.
Yeah.
Is Dennis McCarthy. He's the guy that builds the cars for Fast and Furious. He's got some stories. I talked to him on the phone for a while once about, how it works, what to do, and what it takes. He builds 300 cars for one movie. 300.
What?
Yeah. And he said that what he does, the cheat, is he puts LS motors in everything, Mopars, everything. So he can pull it out and drop it into something else without skipping a beat.
Makes sense. Yeah. He standardizes the build, basically.
Yeah. He said that they had to load one of the cars on an airplane because they'll shoot in 3 different locations around the world all at the same time. So he said he had to get a car. They wrecked it, did something. He had to redo it, ship one to England, I think it was. He said they couldn't even push the car onto the airplane because the paint was still wet.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he says it's unbelievable, the time frame and the crunch. And I'm sure he's got a million stories. He did say that they hand him the script and go, this is where they're going to be. This is who's going to be driving it. Figure out the car. I mean, he's the car coordinator, so he has free reign to go, okay, it should be a Challenger, it should be this, it should be jacked up. He has full reign. It's a pretty cool gig. He says everybody comes rushing. They're nonstop 24 hours a day to get those cars out. Yeah.
I believe it, man.
Each one of those things, the movies do over $1 billion.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I wonder what they're spending. 300 cars,
Millions.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of dough too, because they ain't cheap.
Yeah.
You think about it, he's not buying used LS engines. He's probably calling GM, I need 300 LS engines.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And transmissions and rear ends. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're the connecting crews, plug and play, ready to go. He has to have somebody like that behind him. I mean, to save time. But that's what he said. One of the things is he uses LS.
Man.
So he's got some cool stories, but he should be one we should, circle back around.
I think so. I wrote his name down. I got to put my phone on stun. I totally forgot that. Damn. Sorry about that. I should have done that, and I totally spaced it.
George Jetson.
Huh? What?
George Jetson.
There you go. His boy Elroy.
Who else you going to get? What other guests?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't given it any thought. I mean, it's just one of those things. I got to sit down and think about it. I'd like to get all kinds of different people, though. I think it's important that we do everything we can to make this as diverse as possible. I mean, I'm all for even getting, politicians on there. I think it'd be great. Yeah. See, like Vice Grip Garage, Dylan McCool. Why not get? I'm cool for getting those guys because I want to see what they're looking at. Yeah. Why they do what they do. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. And I don't have a problem with getting people that might be a little hostile. I don't have a problem with that. I think Pat Musey would be really good. I'm sure he's got some serious stories because I remember watching him race. Up in E-Town. And he's like 45 minutes from me. He's in Mooresville. Yeah. So he's close. I think that'd be cool. And then we just go from there. And You know, we're getting.
Ah,
You know what? We're gonna go to the cage match because it's that time. It's at the bottom of the hour, and we're gonna easily kill a half hour in the
well,
cage match.
I,
And
I
we
think
actually,
it's
huh?
I think it's important that you let people know that the Iron Box twins are coming on at the cage match.
I was just gonna say that we have our first guest tonight.
Shirley and Brenda.
Yes, our first guest is the Iron Box twins. So here's what we're gonna do. So guys, now the Iron Box twins are cool, okay? And we don't know what they're gonna talk about. We have no idea. So we're gonna play this by ear. So you guys take a break. MMR is gonna put on a commercial for us, and then we're gonna get at it and talk to the Iron Box twins. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Hero Soap Company is a veteran-owned establishment that produces all-natural, essential oils-infused soap that is sold with a portion of the proceeds supporting other veteran groups. Hero Soap Company. Heroes supporting heroes. Be a hero yourself and buy a bar and let freedom clean.
I love the bagpipes. All right, everybody, this is the cage match, right? And just to let you guys know, the basic rules of the cage match is there's really no rules. You want to start acting like an idiot, we're gonna lay the smack down on you. If I don't do it, John will. We don't care if you want to talk politics, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to talk about. And our first guest tonight, our first guest ever, is the Iron Box twins, all right? And they are Shirley and Brenda. You ladies there?
Yeah, we're here. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you. I love the black screen witness protection program. You guys must have some really good nerves. What do you got? What do you got?
First of all, where are you?
Undisclosed.
Undisclosed location. You're on the west side of hell.
Let's do it.
Let's just say home of fake president.
Oh, fake president. You could say, ladies, you could say none ya. None of your damn business.
None of your damn business, Lou.
So I heard a couple stories, and I don't even know where to start as far as the president. You brought the president up.
That was quick.
Biden. Yeah, and I think there's some stories. There's as you know, Kamala Harris was staying at the house the street over from me.
Right, I remember you told me that. Right. I remember you told me that.
I'm about 2 miles from the Pennsylvania. Yeah, I'm about 2 miles from the PA Delaware border, and she stays in the Pennsylvania side. Of course, Biden is about 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes over the Pennsylvania Delaware border in Greenville. He's been there forever. You always see a Secret Service vehicle parked at the end of his road, when he's home. Most times when he's not there. What is it?
Clogging up our streets.
Yeah, right. I mean, you see the entourage, there's probably 6 or 8 black vehicles that come through. But she was on I think it's a 12 or 13,000 square foot house on like 15 acres.
What?
Is where they got her tucked away. Yeah, when she's in town, when he's in Delaware. So, I mean.
And there's fluids in the basement.
Yeah, right. Has to. I mean, I have a theory that because he has good days and bad days. And his good days are real good. And I know that people, when you get older, that's what happens. But my theory is they're doing a blood transfusion on him to keep him going. Because.
Oh, that's what they did to Keith Richards.
Right. I mean, people that have dementia, they have high levels of aluminum in their system.
All right.
And I think that comes from people cooking with aluminum. Myself, I know.
That's why I got rid of all my foil.
The foil, deodorant for years had a lot of aluminum in it. I mean, it gets in your system and it does not come out.
Right.
And it shorts you out. Iron, of course, you take it, it goes. Other metals like mercury, of course, don't come out.
Right.
So when they do the transfusion to be able to pump it out, it gives him, a burst of energy, and he's clear headed.
Chelation therapy. Take the old blood out and put it in new.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I was at a bar there's a bar and restaurant about 10 minutes from his place. And there was a female cop from Wilmington, Delaware, in there drinking at the bar. And she said that she was in charge, of protecting and overseeing some of his things only for a weekend. They rotate him out. And she says half the time he didn't know where he was. And it was embarrassing. She says that he was clueless.
Right. Well, from an insider, I'll just say an insider. He woke up at his beach house a few months ago and asked his wife why they weren't at the beach. He wanted to go to the beach. He came out into the kitchen, all the Secret Service, well, they talk. So, Secret Service talk. Secret Service were out there in the kitchen, and he came out and said, "Hey, Jill, why aren't we at the beach?" She said, "Joe, we are at the beach." So it's pretty bad. He's not going to last long.
No, it's a shame. It really is.
It is.
10 years ago, the guy was really sharp. I mean, you look at the videos.
You think he was sharp?
I think he was. I think he was a great politician. I mean, the Democrats play that part of it well. I think that
they're actors.
Oh, they're good, though. You have to hand it to them. They know how to maneuver. Republicans are slow and are behind on things myself.
But you know what? Here's how I see this, and maybe I'm wrong. I see it as an abusive relationship. The Democrats are beating the crap out of the wife, which is the Republicans, and now they just let stuff go. They occasionally say something, and then they get their ass handed to them, and then they go away again. They're scared, because you can't tell me that all of these people just agree with what's going on in the government.
Yeah, what I can't stand is as soon as one side is out of power, that's when they start screaming the most. We're going to change. We're going to do. We're now. You had the ability to do that 6 months ago or so.
Well, right now he's just signing anything that's put in front of him.
It's a shame, isn't it? You see that half the pages from the close-ups looks like they're blank.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is sad. I mean, it really is sad.
Stare is definitely blank.
Yeah.
Yeah, stare is blank. I saw a thing saying that he signed like 42 executive orders.
First day,
Yeah.
I think, wasn't it?
I think it was. I saw 42
around,
this morning.
Yeah, he's 2 weeks in now, and I think it's close to 40. He did 3 yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pumping them out.
That's crazy.
Away. Yeah.
It's a shame.
So, anywho, we could go on all night about him.
We can go on to that virus.
Yeah. Did you guys get that? Did you get the vaccine? Did either one of you get the vaccine yet?
She said she posed as an EMT.
Shirley posed as an EMT. She got the first dose. Now they won't give her the second. You know where she can score a second one?
Not
I'm pretty sure I got a shot of Miller Lite. I got it from a fire hall.
God. How many? All right.
There was Miller Lite in that syringe.
I'm trying to find an EMT with the link to sign up for the second shot.
So what'd you do? You went in and told them you were front line? What would you do? You bullshit?
Yeah, I was gonna
I stood in line. They didn't ask me a question. I didn't have to lie. I just gave them my license.
She cut in line.
Got the needle in my arm.
She really thought she was in line for the food bank, but she got a shot instead.
I worked for the governor, and I said, "Governor, I don't know what line I'm gone in."
Oh my God!
What were the side effects?
Really? Were there any side effects?
My arm got real red.
My side effects were my arm was red. Exactly 24 hours later, I started to get dizzy. Didn't feel right. Was kind of off. And by that night, I could not lift my head off of the pillow. My husband said I was talking deliriously in my sleep. And it wasn't about Brad Pitt, so it must have been the vaccine. I don't know what it was. And the next morning I woke up, I was fine. Now I hear the second dose, people are having, more severe symptoms. But they only last, they're very short. It's better than getting the virus. I've had a lot of friends that had the virus,
Yeah.
and they were sick. So, yeah, I just can't wait to travel. That's why I got the vaccine.
I had the Wu-Tang for 2 days.
Did you?
Yeah, I part-time teach, and my son, where my son worked, he one of the guys showed up and they said he was full blown, like I think he turned up in the hospital. He was so bad, but he gave it to everybody in the restaurant, and so of course I got exposed. So what I did, being a part-time teach, I was on my way to work when he told me, so I shut down the class and told my students, because my class is older guys. I got a lot of guys in their 60s. I got a couple guys that are 70, and we build cars. So I told them all, I said, look, just go home. I got to go get tested. That was a Friday. I got tested Sunday. Wednesday, they called me and said that I had it, but I only had a headache for 2 days. And that was by Wednesday, the headache was gone. What was that?
Yeah, you're lucky.
Next month, your arms will fall off.
Yeah, but you say that, but Christmas Day, every night my wife goes to bed at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I put her to bed. I get up and I'm leaving the room. I'm going down the hallway, and then I got really dizzy. I fell up against the wall and I couldn't feel my entire left side.
Oh.
And it was everything I could do to get back to the bed. So I fell face first into the bed. And I couldn't move. I couldn't talk or anything. So I'm making noises. My wife finally wakes up and she's asking me what's wrong. And I'm just making noises. So she calls our youngest, Nicholas, and he comes in and he says, I'm going to call 911. So by the time the EMTs got to the house, I was starting to get feeling back.
Wow.
And yeah. And this
wonder if you had a little mini stroke.
This was Christmas Day, like about 10 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, it sounds it.
You might have had a little mini stroke there.
That's what they're saying. So, but here's the crazy thing. There's a reason why I'm telling you this. This is what's so crazy about it. One of my students is a physician's assistant.
Uh-huh.
And I called him up and I said, hey, Bill, I heard that a mini stroke is a side effect from the Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, it is. He said that they've had 3 or 4 cases in the ER.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's how people are dying. They're throwing clots. And they're
Look,
dying
did anybody anybody else in your family have any symptoms or any issues?
No.
Just you.
Just
your
me.
Your wife didn't get it from you?
Everybody got it.
Oh, they all got it, but they didn't.
Yeah, the whole house had it, but nobody had it for more than 3 days.
I did speak to a doctor today that got the second vaccine, and he said he could barely walk from the hospital to his car. He lost feeling in his legs.
Great.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the second shot, let me tell you.
I'm not looking forward to any of it.
You don't even need the second shot. That in England, they're not even giving it out because the first one's so effective.
That's England. They don't know.
You need to get your EMT outfit together. There was Cameron Cooper said that his 72-year-old mother with COPD tested positive and never even had a sniffle, and he had a real bad headache and lost his taste and nausea. It's one. Honestly, it's to me, it's no worse than the flu. I mean, I know there's something out there. I'm not going to deny that people are dying, but people die from the flu. They died from the Nile virus, the swine flu, the Spanish flu, all these flus.
What's the HIV?
Oh.
Oh wait. While we're talking about this, I got to show you guys this. It's this huge comedy. I figure I'm going to hear something about this. So, my brother-in-law came down. He left right before Christmas. So he's up in Rhode Island, and he's a big time conservative. So I introduced him to some of the people on YouTube, like some of the shows, and he really likes the Hodge twins. So he got the shirt. Let's see if I get the focus.
Can't see it. What's it say?
There you go.
We call it the Chinese virus because it comes from China. He sent me that.
Did you catch any hell for posting that?
Well, here's what happened. in the past I had done some stuff for Lincoln, welders, probably 10, 15 years ago. And the guy that I always talk to that I'm still friends with, Eugene, he calls me up. Tuesday. He calls. What's today? Today's Wednesday, so it'd be Monday. He called Monday night. He calls. He was like, "Hey Lou, what did you do? Did you post something? Did you say something? Like, what are you talking about?" And he goes, "You something on Instagram." And I said, "Oh, it must be my shirt," because So I texted him the picture, and he starts to laugh. And I go, "Why?" He goes, "Well, they called me from Cleveland wanting to know if we were under contract with you, and that if I was under contract, that they wanted me to take the picture down and apologize because that's not good behavior for an influencer."
Oh boy! I mean, people can't even take a joke. People are too.
President Trump would wear that.
What's
Yeah,
that?
I
so
was in Florida. And they were flat out on the radio having advertisements. When this Chinese flu gone, I was like, "Oh my God!"
It's a different breed down there. They don't.
They have the whole.
There's no COVID down
hilarious.
there.
No, that whole place. There's no COVID.
Bars are open. Music's playing.
well,
wait to get
I mean, the
down there.
bottom line is they handled it right. They told the people be responsible and everything will be fine, which is what you have to do.
Stay home
I
and
mean,
be comfortable.
if you have issues, if you're way
Right.
overweight, you have
Right.
asthma. I mean, people know
Stay
that if you
home.
got high blood pressure, and a lot of people have issues. I mean, there's hardly anybody that's a perfect picture of health.
And
But
if
you
you have a
really do.
Billy
Those
with
people have to
blood-
be careful.
You should go
I mean, it is serious.
They
It
have
is
to
serious.
be. They have to be careful. They have to be. So David said goodbye, Garage Insider. So I guess he's leaving. I'm not, I love how we're not saying anything wrong, but people are upset. I mean, I'm not denying that there's something out there, but it's
Right.
still, I mean, I just don't understand running in fear. I don't understand that. So
Everyone
it is
has
what it
their
is.
own opinion. I mean,
Everybody has their own COVID
rules.
laws.
That's right. Our own family has
If you
their own.
have green hair, you have to stay in the house.
Everybody has their own everybody's a COVIDiot.
A COVIDiot.
Yeah.
A COVIDiot. They don't understand. If you stay in your house and your husband or whoever lives with you does not leave the house and you all stay in the house, then you're safe. As soon as someone walks out the door, comes back in the house, you're exposed.
Don't forget DoorDash.
Yeah. DoorDash.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exposed. That's it. It takes one person to bring it into the house.
Well, and you have to build an immunity.
Exactly. You're right. These people
My
are
question,
staying inside.
let's say you guys got the vaccine for COVID-19. There's other strains. Does it keep you from getting those, or do you need another vaccine?
They have no idea.
Yeah, and when's that going to
Working on
stop?
a booster.
China just sent that new variant over.
Yeah,
so
they
we
just-
haven't been able to
They just
explain
released.
it yet.
They just
They just
released it.
released it.
They just released.
Yeah,
it
did
the
you
other
see
day.
that the Chinese are trying to get the Americans' DNA
What?
from 23andMe?
yeah. It was on 60 Minutes the other day.
Don't take a picture of your vaccine,
They own that 23andMe.
and I'm on it. So they've got me. I
And they just tried to block them from buying a fertility clinic in San Diego.
Are you kidding me? They're trying. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
This is
it's
all on 60 Minutes. Watch 60 Minutes from Sunday night.
But we'll be okay. We have the dolphin that can predict who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Have you
He's
seen,
in Florida.
have you seen that one?
no, I've not seen this dolphin.
You haven't heard about the dolphin?
Okay, well,
No.
check this out. David, he says no matter how much you take precautions, you can still catch it. And he's right. My wife and I caught it at the same time. You can't be afraid. You have to take precautions. And I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. You have to take precautions. I mean, there is something out there, but you can't live in fear. You can't do it.
Yeah, I agree. You can't stare out the window and think you're living. That's not living. You have to be careful.
So you
Lee.
definitely
We're
cannot
careful.
live in
Watch your
fear.
hands.
And to add to this and to what David said, my mom, she works as a cashier, and there was no shutdown for her. She's one of those essential workers.
Right.
And during the time frame that they were still working in the pandemic conditions without masks, without gloves, and without screens in front of them, guess what? She doesn't get it. But after all the precautions, she does get it.
Got it.
And my dad in the same house, not a picture of great health, who should have got it and should have died from it, doesn't get anything.
It's crazy.
Not discriminate. It's crazy. It's
I mean, that's
absolutely-
you can't explain that.
No, you
It's
can't.
absolutely crazy.
The thing is, I mean, like you're saying earlier, Lou, the Chinese virus, you got these guys over there trying to get people's DNA, which makes you question, what do you really need it for? I also heard that the Chinese were helping us with the vaccine. And I'm thinking, yeah, you guys probably fast-tracked it because you knew more about the actual virus than anybody.
Right.
I mean, why would you bring in the Chinese? I mean, I know they got it first. But I'll tell you what I saw it was a red flag way early, like November, December of 19, was on TikTok. I signed up for TikTok. Seems like it's a kid's
Oh, you
app.
can't do that.
No, it's starting to become an adult.
The
There's
Chinese are
news.
stealing our identities from TikTok.
Yeah, I know. They
They're
can
watching
steal
our
it.
behaviors, right?
I'm going to change my identity. They can have the old identity. I have a new one coming. That's going to be my new business.
Behaviors. Yeah,
That's
I
my new-
got rid of my TikTok. Scared me.
No, but what I saw in there is they were welding doors shut to apartment buildings November, December of 19
So people couldn't get out.
Where was that?
in China.
China.
And the thing was,
That's
if
how
you
they
remember,
quarantine them.
that's how, they locked them inside and welded the doors shut.
Yeah.
And just before that, around that same time, December, January, they were protesting, wanting their freedom. They were holding American flags. They couldn't control them. Of course, as soon as the virus was released, all those people had to be locked away, and that stopped that real fast. So it just makes you wonder, what's the deal there? I mean, it just too many things line up. It makes you question.
They are batshit crazy. No,
They are crazy. They are. And, when they asked Fauci, I think it was Congress had him under oath and said, where did it start? You could see the look of panic in his eyes. He didn't want to tell you because he knew the answer. And he turns and he says, well, we originally thought that it was from somebody eating a bat, but he never got back to actually addressing what he thought and where it came from.
It was made in a lab.
I know. But he never answered. And he just looked like, I got to dodge and weave this like a politician. And he did. And I thought, that's horrible. But it really is horrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Something's going on there. I got to tell you, I'll be the last guy in line for the virus. And hopefully I make it through all that to be
for
the
the
last person.
vaccine, you're not going to get the vaccine.
Yeah, I'm not getting a vaccine until I see what happens.
Well, I was going to do
Seriously.
that too, but
You can't,
then
right?
I saw too many people close to me get it, and just people I knew died.
Yeah.
And it just kind of hit home, and I want to go out. I don't want to, I go out here at home, but I want to travel again.
Right.
And you may not be able to travel
Without the paper.
that you had the vaccine.
Oh, they're already duplicating the papers.
Yeah.
You can get the vaccine cards
I
online.
can tell you one if you get me the second shot.
I'll say this: in not living under fear and in taking precautions. Look, last year I was in 15 different states, traveled thousands of miles, and encountered thousands of people with the events that I was handling, and nothing. And even most of the people in the industry that I work in, nothing. So it's random. You got to take care of yourself. Still got to live.
Right.
Yep.
Right. That's how I look at it.
There's a trade-off. Everything has a price.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. You give up one thing to be, safe and healthy at home, but really, what do is it worth it?
So what do you
stare out the windows? But
what do you think about teachers not wanting to go back to school?
I'm all over the place with that one because they have the right. If you don't feel safe, yeah, maybe you shouldn't. But are they still paying those people to stay home like they are the government? Government never lost their checks.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
I'm a nurse. So the
Yeah.
teachers don't have to go back to school if they don't feel safe, but the nurses have to go to work if they don't feel safe.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
I know
Well, I
it's a
think
totally different job, but
Are they getting paid to stay home?
the teachers,
Nurses or teachers?
Yeah, the teachers.
yeah,
They're
the
getting
teachers
paid.
they're zooming,
Yeah.
and the kids
I
aren't
was-
learning anything.
I saw a thing on the news somewhere. I don't remember what news it was, but this mother was talking about how her kids are having trouble in school and this whole, online thing isn't working, yada yada yada. And she was talking to the teacher because she's telling the teacher, look, my kid's having trouble. We need to do something about this. And she realizes that the teacher is in her car. She's not even in the state.
Yep.
At Starbucks.
She's not even in the state. She's in her car talking on her phone.
Yeah.
Come on. And see, my oldest son is a teacher. He's a special needs teacher, right? And the thing that gets me is like he's got kids that they can't even talk,
No,
but yet they're supposed to do a Zoom deal
exactly.
because he's got to teach him. On the computer. His kids can't. His kids, like
They
he's
can't.
got kids that are like mentally infants because
Yeah.
they're so screwed up. And you're gonna teach. How are you gonna teach the kid?
Well, they started to make the teachers go in the classroom and Zoom from the classroom so they knew where they were. So I know that went on for a while. But, how would you like to have a virtual nurse? You're laying there dying of COVID
Right.
and your nurse comes on the screen. Hey,
My doctor's
Roll
like that.
over.
I just got on my doctor. I had a call with him 2 weeks ago. It was a joke.
did he listen to your lungs?
No, he didn't. Nothing. They're asking me, what do you
Did he
weigh?
check
What's
your
your?
prostate?
Nah, nah. Listen, I don't even let people wag their finger in my
John,
face.
keep messing around with the mind hospitals are going to check your
John, you do
prostate.
know. Yes.
If I take this camera and put it in the right place, can you tell me what's happening? I want a second opinion.
You do know that they do anal swabbing in China to check for the virus.
That's how
Yeah,
they
who thought of that?
Right, it's true.
It's getting carried away. It's getting carried away.
So just drive through your next COVID testing. Take your ass.
No thanks.
Take your ass out.
Yeah.
Somebody posted that on Instagram that they were doing anal swabs on someone
They
posted that. I saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people said they'd rather have it up their butt than up their nose.
I don't know those people.
Something to be said about that. Did you ever have one of those shoved up your nose and down your throat?
No, I'm not. You can pull my blood. Take it from my
Nasopharyngeal
blood.
swab. John, you uncomfortable there?
I am. Do I look comfortable? I'm
You
chilling.
just move around your seat a little bit when I said anal swab.
Easy now.
Anyhow,
Yeah. Shit.
You're gonna get us fired.
Yeah.
listen, just work on getting that second vaccine, sister.
Well, my thing is it was like the third or fourth day that Biden was president. They came out on a NPR and said that we hit the peak, that we crested the mountain now. You know how they always kept saying we had to hit the magic number so we could start herd immunity. It was I think it was the second or third day he was in office. NPR came out and said that. Yeah, they
And
came
he's
out and
getting
said
that
it.
vaccine out real fast, isn't he?
I don't pay attention to it. I really don't. I guess I should pay more attention to it, but I'm like John. I'm not looking to get no vaccine, especially being that I already had it, so I don't care.
No.
Well, now you're making me second guess.
I'm not getting it. I'll be the last guy in line.
Wake up.
Yeah, I'll be the last person. I want to see what happens with everybody else.
All right. Well, just.
I mean, there's rumors that
checking
it changes your DNA. And I
No,
know
it
that
does
everything on.
not change your. It
How do
does
you know
not.
that?
Because
How do you
it's
know?
an mRNA vaccine, which is there's a lot of vaccines
That works
and-
off the
and-
proteins. Which one
right,
is it?
Exactly. A lot of chemotherapies. Actually, I did speak to someone from AstraZeneca, and the vaccine is really just altered a little bit. It's a lot like the flu vaccine. Like,
Yeah,
remember it's SARS. It's when SARS was out. They just altered the vaccine slightly. So, hey, I'll tell you, we'll see if a lot of people drop dead in a couple months. Then you
And I
worry.
get that second shot if they do.
Hey, Karen.
You know, the thing that worried me about it more than anything else was when they first said that it was going to come out and they were going to do it, and the drug companies they didn't want to be held liable.
Yeah.
That's when I said, you know what? I don't know if I want to do that.
Well, they don't ever want to be held liable for.
Well, I know that, but they, this time they said it. You know what I mean?
They say
it's
every commercial. They say that little bottom may cause blah 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 blah.
oh
blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
yeah. Yeah, but
If one
with those commercials, they can still be sued. This time they got it on paper that they're not going to get sued.
Those commercials, these old people aren't taking their medicines because if one person out of a study of 50,000 has one side effect, it has to be put on there. So then, the old people watch these commercials and they stop taking their meds.
When they're watching the Fox News.
Yeah, when they're watching the.
When they're watching
Besides
Fox.
that, my pillow.
I love watching those medicine commercials because when they start rattling off the side effects, it's like, man,
Shirley has every single
one of them was anal leakage. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
I think Shirley has.
That was one of the side may cause anal leakage. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah,
Oh my
at all
God,
the
I
wrong
didn't
times.
see that.
You see Ray's comment there?
Yeah,
Talking
time to
about
build
the
your
price.
dream career, and he's right.
Yeah.
And he's right.
I-
Ray's in the Federal Witness Protection Program up in Canada. That's where Ray is.
Well, hey, one quick question my sister asked.
Huh.
Well, I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
The Tesla. What was your Tesla question?
Oh, my friend has a Tesla, and she has to go to Wawa like every other day and sit there for 4 hours and charge it. Because if she charges it at her house, her electric bill is like $400 a month.
$400 a month is nothing.
So how is this guy so rich off these cars that are paying? Like really, it sounds like
You know how he's doing it? No, he's not making any money off the automobiles.
What's he doing?
What he's doing is there's a law for car manufacturers that say if you don't hit this standard here with as far as green, electric, you have to buy credits from a company that actually does. Tesla sells nothing but electric, so they have all these credits that they sell for 3-point-something billion a year, and that's where their profit comes in. The problem is now GM saying we're going to go electric, everything's going to be electric. Well, as soon as they start to transfer over and don't need his help, Tesla better have his shit together and be pumping out cars and really making money.
There was a video that I saw yesterday, and it was GM showing their new electric car and all that. It was somewhere in Detroit, and they're talking about how great it's going to be, yada yada yada. And the guy shows how easy it is to charge it, and the president of GM now is a female, and I can't remember her name, but the reporter says, "So where does the power come from to power this?" And they had like a pole there, like you see those blue poles. They have one of them in the park.
Charging
And
station.
he says from the building right here. She points right over his shoulder from the building right here. He's like, no. Where's the power come from?
Yeah, fossil fuels.
You knew where he was going.
Yeah.
Mary Barra.
I thought that was funny because
That's crazy.
She was caught off guard by that. She was.
Well, do you really?
All right. Well, look, we have been on, guys. Iron Box Twins. I'd like to thank. I got to sign off because we got 59 minutes and we're almost done here. So I want to sign off. Iron Box Twins. I appreciate you coming on as our first guest. If you guys ever want to come on, just let John know or me know.
Anytime.
We'll make it happen.
Great time.
I had a blast, and I want to thank John for being here. All you guys, remember, use the promo code for coffee. Promo code MMR10, and you get 10% off of Gearhead Coffee. Power Built Tools, for their code, which is 15%. And all you guys, look, don't be upset. If you're gonna sit here and send messages saying Garage Insider is gonna go away now, well, you don't have to watch it. This is a free country. And we're not bashing politicians. We're not doing anything like that. We just want to hear different points of view. So just remember that. It's important that we have dialogue between everybody, because you know what? The whole thing is divide and conquer. And if you look at what they're doing, somebody's dividing this public, and they're really trying hard to conquer it. And next week, we got some pretty cool topics that I'd like to hit. I'd really like to talk about HR. There it is. HR 127, gun control. There's stuff like that that's coming down the pipe that I know is some hot button topics. And I think we need to talk about it. See where people are at with, we need to see where people are with that. I know people want to see it and other people don't want to see it, but I'm curious to see what people want to say about this.
There has to be a dialogue. Everybody is taking sides. It's my team against your team. There's nobody in the middle. And people have to wake up and go, okay, let's sit and talk.
Right.
We talked about this before. It's like wrestling. You know, the whole politics is like wrestling. They yell and scream, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And that it's all thought out, and it's nonsense. Those politicians are working everybody over both sides.
Yeah.
And they're pretending, I'm going to do for you. They're not doing anything. Like I said, they start screaming the loudest when they're out of power.
Yeah.
When they're in, like when they had all the people from social media sit down, it was all clips that they used to blast out, but nothing came of it. Asked everybody about, restrictions and censorship, and nothing happened. Now all of a sudden they're all up in arms. We're going to fix it now. It's too late.
Yeah. Like you said, we need to have dialogue. It needs to come out, because at the end of the day, we're the ones who are going to suffer, but we'll talk about that next week. All right. Ironbox Twins, Shirley and Brenda, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, guys.
John, thanks. And all you people that tuned in for our first episode, I appreciate it. Next week, Wednesday, 8 o'clock, we're going to do it all again. You guys have a good day. Stay safe, all right? And Rick Bacon, thanks for tuning in, man. I don't have your number. If you have an email for me, actually, GarageInsiderTV@gmail. Send me an email, and we'll get you on here, because I'd really like to talk to you. It's been a long time. Later, everybody. See you next week.